Former campaign chairman, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe is the subject of a federal investigation. Alleged campaign finance violations is the topic. One wealthy Chinese businessman's contribution to McAuliffe's campaign are being examined. It's illegal for foreign nationals to donate any money to any U.S. election. McAuliffe maintains that the Chinese billionaire has a green card. There's a new report from the Capital Research Center that finds McAuliffe has extensive ties to a former Soviet official with a questionable background. The open question on McAuliffe is whether he exploited those controversial connections for personal gain. With me now is CRC Vice President and Chief Investigative Officer Stephen Allen. Stephen, welcome. How does Hillary Clinton's brother, Anthony Rodham, how is he linked to McAuliffe to this questionable Russian tie?
Well, Terry McAuliffe, of course, ran for governor in 2009 and again successfully the second time in 2013. He was trying to burnish his credentials as a businessman, didn't really have business experience except he was the largest fundraiser in history at the time for the Clintons back in the 90s. So he was involved with this company, Green Tech Automotive, was the CEO of the company. And this was supposedly to build these vehicles that were kind of like golf carts that would help solve our energy problems and protect the environment. Got a $5 million subsidy from the taxpayers in Mississippi and was supposed to produce lots of jobs and didn't. Well, he was partners in this with Anthony Rodham, who is Hillary Rodham Clinton's brother, also the ex-son-in-law of Senator Barbara Boxer, and who is the business partner and the godfather of the grandson of a former Soviet Georgian official, Ansel Abashidze, who was deposed in 2004 and fled to Moscow under charges that he had stolen $57 million and had murdered a deputy. So they have this business that is basically two sister companies. Green Tech Automotive is one, also known as WM Green Tech Automotive, and then Gulf Coast Financial Management. And those two companies run what is essentially a scheme to get people EB-5 visas.
Right. And which means essentially if you come here with a certain amount of money, I guess it's in the millions, you can stay, right?
Right. In fact, it's lower than that. It's $1 million generally, but if you're in a rural area, if you're investing in a rural area or investing in a high unemployment area, it's $500,000. And there are at least 31 Chinese who apparently have come into the country, gotten their green cards, essentially bought them by doing these
somebody told me, Steve, that there's a lot of cities, Miami just being one of them, where almost the entire real estate market in the past 10 years has been supported by the EB-1 visas.
Yes, the EB-5, yes, and it's just open for abuse of all sorts, including the fact that at least one Chinese intelligence agent was among those that got into the country as a result of Terry McAuliffe and Anthony Rodham's operation.
Steve, it's a pretty complicated spider web. We're glad we have you to take us through the connections. Steve Allen, thank you very much. Chief Investigative Officer, CRC. See you soon, Steve.